stop. Before you scroll past this video, I need you to hear something that most men never get told. You've been misreading her this entire time. Not because you're not smart, not because you're not observant, but because nobody ever taught you how women actually signal attraction. And that one blind spot has cost you more than you realize. Stay with me because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what you've been missing. By the end of this video, you're going to know 8 specific signs that a woman is deeply attracted to you even when she acts like she isn't. And I'm going to show you something even bigger than that. I'm going to show you why the most attractive men are always the last ones to know it. But first, I need to ask you something personal. Have you ever walked into a room and felt completely invisible? Have you ever replayed a conversation in your head wondering, was she interested or was I imagining it? Have you ever caught yourself thinking, maybe I'm just not that guy? If that's you, I want you to take a breath right now because what you're about to hear might completely reframe the last few years of your life. The men who question themselves the most, they are often the men women are most drawn to. Not because of arrogance, not because of looks, because of presence. And we're going to unpack exactly what that means. But before we do, if this channel is new to you, hit subscribe right now. These conversations are built for men who are ready to see themselves clearly. Don't miss what's coming. Here's something most men were never taught. Women experience attraction completely differently than men do. Men feel attraction like a forward impulse. You see someone, you think, I want to talk to her. It's direct. It's linear. Women feel attraction as awareness first. She thinks, does he notice me? She tunes into your energy before she decides how to move. She observes, she positions, she signals. She does not announce it. She signals. And if you've been waiting for her to boldly pursue you or make her attraction unmistakable, you've been playing a game that was never designed that way. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through 8 powerful signs you are a highly attractive man, even if you've been doubting yourself for years. And as we move through each one, I want you to be honest with yourself. Not from ego, not from insecurity, just from awareness. And here's what I want you to watch for, because this is important. By sign number 5, most men in the comments say something shifts inside them. So pay attention, because that shift might happen to you too. Are you ready? Let's go. The first sign, lingering eye contact. This is the most universal signal of attraction and the one men miss constantly. Here's how it happens. You're somewhere ordinary, a coffee shop, a gym, a work event. You glance up and your eyes meet hers. But instead of looking away like strangers normally do, she holds it just a second longer than necessary. There's a pause, a micro moment. Then she looks away. Most men think, that was nothing. But psychologically, that extra second is enormous. Research on nonverbal communication shows that prolonged eye contact activates emotional arousal. It increases perceived intimacy. It signals that you have been registered. We do not hold eye contact with people who don't interest us. The nervous system doesn't invest that energy. And here's the part most men never catch. She looks back. That second glance is not accidental. It's confirmation. Think about your own behavior. When something doesn't interest you, you barely register it. When something does, you look twice. You verify what you felt. She's doing the same thing. The first look is curiosity. The second look is courage. She's quietly asking, did you notice me? And confidence in that moment isn't about staring hard. It's about soft steadiness, a calm hold, a slight smile. If this has happened to you, you are not invisible. Now stay with me because sign number 3 is the one most men completely overlook. And once you hear it, you're going to start noticing it everywhere. We're just getting started. Sign 2, proximity. Attractive men create a gravitational pull. You may notice women standing near you, joining a circle you're already in, choosing the seat beside you when other options are available. This is not coincidence. It's positioning. Women rarely chase directly, but they absolutely create opportunity. From a psychological standpoint, proximity increases bonding. Studies on the mere exposure effect show that close physical space builds positive association. She is increasing the likelihood of interaction. She is placing herself inside your awareness. I once worked with a man in his early 60s who felt overlooked. At his regular spot, the same woman had sat beside him 3 separate times. He assumed it was random. It wasn't. The moment he shifted from self-doubt to awareness, everything changed. He began engaging with calm, quiet confidence. Energy pulls, awareness responds. Sign 3, people listen when you speak. Have you ever noticed side conversations quiet down when you start talking? Have you seen people physically turn their bodies towards you? That is presence, and presence is one of the most underrated forms of attraction. Psychologists call this the halo effect. When someone is perceived as high value, we subconsciously give them our attention and our approval. This becomes even more powerful after 40, 50, 60. Youth shouts, maturity resonates. You don't need to dominate a room, you need to be anchored in it. Try this. Slow your speech slightly, lower your tone, pause intentionally before you respond. Silence amplifies attention. If you've ever felt that quiet authority where you don't demand attention, but it gathers anyway, you already have magnetism. Quick pause. If you're finding this valuable, hit that subscribe button right now. Every week, we break down the psychology of attraction, masculine presence, and what it actually takes to thrive in the second half of life. You don't want to miss what's coming up next, especially signs 5 and 7. Sign 4, mirroring. This sign is subtle, but incredibly telling. Mirroring happens when someone unconsciously reflects your body language. You lean back, she leans back. You slow your speech, her cadence follows. You touch your face, a few seconds later, she touches hers. This is not imitation. This is nervous system alignment. When we feel safe and attracted to someone, our bodies begin to synchronize. Mirror neurons in the brain fire when we observe someone we feel connected to. It is biological rapport. If you notice a woman matching your gestures or rhythm, her nervous system is saying, "I feel safe here." And safety precedes desire, especially for women. Here's a simple technique. Subtly mirror one small element of her posture after a few moments. Not exaggerated, just slight alignment. Watch how quickly the connection deepens. Attraction is rarely loud. It is layered. It is energetic. Now we're moving into territory that goes deeper than body language. Sign 5 is the one that surprises men the most because it sounds like a compliment, but it's actually something far more powerful than that. Thing 5, compliments go beyond appearance. If a woman says, "You look great today," that's surface level. Physical assessments happen fast, within seconds, almost unconsciously. But when she says, "I really like your energy. I feel comfortable around you. There's something different about you," that is a far deeper signal. She is describing your presence, not your appearance. Research shows that emotional safety and authenticity are the strongest predictors of long-term attraction. When a woman says she feels comfortable around you, she is saying her nervous system relaxes in your presence. That is magnetic on a level most men never understand. I once worked with a man in his late 50s, a widower. Quiet, not flashy, not loud, but women kept telling him, "You're so easy to talk to." He thought it was politeness. It wasn't. He listened without trying to impress. He didn't rush to fill silence. His calmness created a kind of emotional safety women rarely find. He thought he was average. They experienced him as grounding. There is a difference. The next time someone compliments your vibe, your steadiness, your energy, don't brush it off. Simply say, "Thank you." That means a lot. Confidence grows when you stop rejecting feedback. Sign 6. You catch people looking at you. Repeated glances, quick assessments, eye contact from across the room more than once. Here's what's happening. Human beings are wired to scan their environment for social value. We instinctively notice individuals who stand out through posture, composure, or energy. It's not about physical perfection, it's about presence. When you walk into a room and conversation shifts slightly when someone glances and quickly looks away, when eye contact happens across a space more than once, that is recognition. Many men miss this because they're waiting for something obvious, but attraction rarely arrives with a spotlight. It shows up in tracking behavior. Here's something actionable. The next time you enter any public space, instead of looking at your phone or the floor, shoulders relaxed, chin level, slow, deliberate steps, let your gaze move calmly across the room. Then simply observe. You may be surprised how often awareness meets awareness. Now, we're about to get into the two signs that operate completely beneath the surface. Sign 7 has nothing to do with the woman at all, and yet it's one of the most powerful attraction signals that exists. Don't go anywhere. Sign 7, how other men respond to you. This one is crucial because women watch male dynamics closely. Men are wired to assess status. It's biological, it's ancient. And the way other men treat you sends a signal to women that no amount of looks or charm can manufacture. Signs of respect from other men look like this. They don't interrupt you when you speak. They seek your opinion. They introduce you positively to others. They differ in small but noticeable ways. Signs of competition look different. One-upmanship, sudden attempts to dominate when a woman enters the room, backhanded compliments, dismissive jokes. Both reactions signal value. Respect says you're recognized. Competition says you're perceived as a threat. From an evolutionary psychology standpoint, social proof heavily influences attraction. When other men treat you as high value, women register that assessment automatically. And here's the most important part. The most attractive men don't fight for status. They embody it quietly. True confidence does not escalate. It stabilizes. When you're in a group, do you get louder to prove yourself, or do you stay grounded? If men respond to you with either respect or competition, you are a factor, and women are watching. We are almost at the final sign, and it's the one that changes everything about the way you show up. But before we get there, if this is resonating, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. These conversations go deep, and I don't want you to miss a single one. You might hear things like, I can't believe you're still single. I'm sure you have women texting you. You probably say that to everyone. These comments come up early, before exclusivity is even discussed. Why? Because you carry non-desperate energy. Desperation has a specific psychological signature. It shows up in over-texting, over-explaining, seeking reassurance, chasing validation. Abundance energy looks different. It's calm, it's patient, it doesn't rush intimacy, it doesn't cling. Women are highly attuned to scarcity versus abundance. Not logically, energetically. If she senses you are comfortable whether she chooses you or not, she experiences you as higher value. And here's the irony. You may not actually have multiple options, but if you carry yourself like someone who could, people assume you do. Perception influences reality. When women believe you are desired, they become more intrigued. So, let me ask you directly. Do you behave like someone grateful for crumbs or like someone who chooses carefully? That question alone can shift your entire dynamic. Now, I want you to pause. If you recognized even 2 or 3 of those signs, you are likely far more attractive than you've allowed yourself to believe. The issue is rarely appearance. The issue is ownership. And here's what I want you to stay for, because we're about to go somewhere even deeper. We're going to talk about why your brain actively filters out evidence of your own attractiveness and what to do about it. This next part, this is where real transformation happens. Here is the paradox I've observed over decades of studying human behavior. The men who are genuinely attractive are often the least aware of it. Why? Because most men were raised to evaluate themselves through visible results. Did she say yes? Did she text back? Did she make it obvious? If the answer wasn't clear, you assumed failure. But women's attraction doesn't operate like a scoreboard. It operates like a current, subtle, responsive, energetic. And if you were raised to ignore subtlety, you may have been surrounded by genuine interest without ever once recognizing it. Let me tell you about a man I'll call Daniel, 64 years old, divorced for 7 years. He was convinced women were no longer interested in him. He described himself as background noise. But when we unpacked his actual experiences, a completely different picture emerged. Women at his gym consistently chose equipment near him. A barista remembered his name and leaned in when she spoke to him. At community events, women laughed easily at his comments and asked follow-up questions. He dismissed all of it because none of it was explicit. He was waiting for unmistakable pursuit. What he didn't understand was that his calm demeanor, his thoughtful pauses, his grounded eye contact were quietly magnetic. But because he didn't feel attractive internally, he filtered out every external signal. This is called confirmation bias. Your brain finds information that confirms what you already believe and ignores what contradicts it. If you believe you're not attractive, you will literally not see the signs that you are. So the work now is not about your appearance. It's not about your age. It's not about learning pickup lines or tactics. The work is internal. And here's the most important thing I'm going to say in this entire video. Your identity can be updated. It doesn't require arrogance, it requires awareness. Let me show you exactly how. Exercise 1, the evidence journal. At the end of each day this week, write down one moment of positive social feedback. A smile, a prolonged glance, someone leaning in when you spoke, a warm interaction with a stranger. Don't analyze it. Don't minimize it. Just record it. Over time, your brain begins building counter-evidence to old narratives. New neural pathways form. Your identity begins to update. Exercise 2, nervous system regulation. Before entering any social environment, take 3 slow breaths. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale slowly for 6. Relax your jaw. Relax your shoulders. This simple action shifts your nervous system from fight or flight into rest and connect. When your body is regulated, your presence changes. People feel it before you speak. Exercise 3, reclaim past evidence. Think of 3 moments in your life where a woman showed clear interest, even if it didn't become a relationship. Write them down. Now ask yourself, what qualities was I embodying in those moments? Were you relaxed? Were you focused? Were you not trying too hard? Attraction shows up strongest when you're simply being yourself without self-monitoring. That version of you, that's who women respond to. Now, I want to bring everything full circle because recognizing attraction is one level of awareness. Embodying it is something entirely different. And there's one final mindset shift, the one that actually changes your dating dynamic permanently, that I haven't shared yet. Stay with me, we're almost there. When you stop questioning whether you're attractive, you start asking a completely different question. Instead of, I hope she likes me, you begin thinking, does she align with what I actually want? That shift alone rebalances everything. When a man evaluates calmly instead of seeking approval, his energy stabilizes. There's less grasping, less urgency, and that grounded curiosity, it invites feminine energy to open. Selectivity is attractive. Standards are attractive. Desperation dissolves when standards rise. Let me paint you a picture. You walk into a room, shoulders relaxed, eyes steady, not scanning desperately, just aware. You greet the host. You engage in one meaningful conversation. You laugh naturally. You excuse yourself when needed instead of clinging. Across the room, a woman notices. She feels the calm. She senses the lack of neediness. She sees how other men respond to you. She sees that you are not chasing, and slowly, quietly, she positions herself closer. This is how attraction unfolds, not with fireworks, not with grand gestures, quietly, gradually, powerfully. And you will miss it entirely if you're still searching for the obvious. Before we wrap, I want you to ask yourself one final question. If you truly believed you were attractive, not just physically, but energetically, how would you behave differently tomorrow? Would you approach more calmly? Would you hold eye contact a second longer? Would you stop overthinking every interaction? That shift begins right now. Attraction isn't something you chase, it is something you embody. And once you recognize that, you stop wondering where you stand. You stand firmly, and the right woman will feel it. If this conversation shifted something inside you, like this video, not for the algorithm, but as a signal to yourself that you're ready to see differently. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you never miss a conversation. Every week, we go deep into emotional intelligence, masculine presence, and what it actually means to thrive in this chapter of life. Drop a comment below and tell me which of the 8 signs hit you the hardest. Was it the eye contact, the proximity, the way people go quiet when you speak, or sign 8 women assuming you already have options? Tell me. I read every single one because your awareness might be exactly what another man needs to read today. I'll see you in the next one.